Today I'll be showing you how I tighten the lug nuts on our camper tires. This is something that I do every time before we travel so that we can stay safe. Lug nuts that are too loose could cause the tire to become wobbly, or in worst case scenario even fall off. If you tighten the lug nuts too tight, you could strip the thread on the studs or even have a stud snap off, which would be very dangerous while you're driving. The tool we use for this is called a torque wrench. This is the one I bought. I'll link to it in the description. Some of the things I really like about this is it's really heavy duty. It allows you to lock in the torque that you put in, and it also comes with a really nice case, plastic case. I did do a lot of research before buying this one, and there are a lot of options out there. So I would suggest doing your own research and picking one that'll work for you. One of the main things to consider is how much torque you will need to put on your lug nuts to make sure that you buy one that is large enough. Thanks to Nathan and Billy for their comments on our videos about the proper torque to put on these lug nuts. I'm going to go up to 95 this year. I'd been doing 85 in the past, but that was right on the lower end of the threshold, so I'm going to go up to 95 now. The other thing you'll need are sockets. So this uses a 19mm socket for the lug nuts. I bought deep sockets mainly because you need to have enough clearance from the tire when you do this. So if you have shorter ones, you're going to need an extender or something so that you can get this square, otherwise it'll go in at an angle. So I like these deep sockets. Our camper tires have 5 lug nuts, and there is a pattern you should do to make sure that you tighten them evenly around. You don't just want to go around in a circle, because as you tighten this one, it'll potentially make this one looser and vice versa as you go around, so you kind of want to jump around. And for 5 studs, you use a star pattern. So if you started here at the bottom, you'd go up and then down and then across and then back over. Essentially you're making a star to tighten the 5 lug nuts. For me, I find it easier just to skip every other one. It's the same pattern. So if I start here and I skip 1 to this one, skip 1 to this one, skip 1 to this one, and then skip 1 back to this one, I've hit all 5 and it's the exact same pattern, star pattern. So now we'll put our socket onto our torque wrench. Just snaps on. And then this is how you adjust the pound. You pull this out at the bottom, and then you can turn it around, and there's a dial for the 10s and the 5s. So keep turning it. Hopefully you can see that. And so there's 90. I'm going to go up to 95. And then you push it in, and that locks it in place. So now we're going to use our pattern and go around. All you're doing is putting enough pressure on until it clicks. Once it clicks, you're good. So if I start down here, and you might not actually feel the lug nut turn, which is fine. That means it's already at the correct pressure. Every once in a while you will feel it turn a little bit. So this is the other side of her camper, and I'm not really sure it matters which one you start at. Just pick one. Just remember, skip every other one. Until you've done all 5. When I'm done, you do want to store this at its minimum setting, which is 50. So you want to turn this back down, and before you put it away in the case, lock it into 50. That is the proper way to store this. If you ever need to change your tire, this is not the tool to use to take the lug nuts off. You actually want to get a breaker bar. I have one right here. I'll link to this in the description as well. The important thing about this is just make sure you get one that has the same size so that you can use your same sockets, because you'll use the same 19mm socket, at least for us, 19mm socket. So use this to actually remove the lug nuts. When you put the new tire on, you'll first want to hand tighten the lug nuts, and then use the torque wrench. But when you use the torque wrench, you don't want to go the full 95 right away. You want to work your way up. The instruction manual says to go, I think it's 25 and then 55 and then 95. Our torque wrench, actually the lowest one is 50, so we would probably do 50 and then probably 70 or 75 and then 95. And you do the pattern for each of those, so we would do the pattern at 50 and then we do the pattern at 75 and then we do the pattern at 95, just to evenly tighten that up. The torque wrench can also be used for your tow vehicle tires. There's even a couple bolts on our weight distribution hitch that need to be torqued to a certain amount. I will be doing a more in-depth video of our specific weight distribution hitch coming up, so if that's something you're interested in, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you get notified when that video is ready. As always, please leave comments, questions, suggestions by adding a comment. We like to learn. And if you do have any questions about what we did, we'll be happy to help out. If you found this video useful, please give it a like. Happy camping, and thanks for watching.